Hey, everyone. Should I open the show, Jimmy the Bag?
I think you should. It's a special Saturday.
Yeah, I've already violated my my promise to myself for this show, which is no jokes, just taking it serious. I was a little bit of a joke in the beginning, but okay. You're watching the Welcome to the Loshak in the Bag show for Saturday. Very special Saturday edition. July 17th, the second half of the MLB season has started. So great to be here. Once again, back with Jimmy the Bag, all the low baggers. Look at it, Jimmy lets me open the shows just like old times. It's awesome. And, the most important thing, though, of course, no matter what, is the picks. You don't have to be the best, but you got to be at least positive. Jimmy the Bag, I know you had a great first half and then had one disastrous day. And now it seems like you're climbing back up again, right?
Yeah, it was actually 2 straight Wednesdays. One was a 1-7. One was an 0-8, but juice caused it to lose over 9 units. But you're right. Day does not a season make. I had a nice start yesterday, 4-2. And Pete, I talked about your very shrewd acknowledgement of the Pittsburgh Pirates at home as a dog for a big underdog casher. I did first 5 at plus 150, but also the unders that are hitting at PNC Park over and over again. And I didn't go in on the under. I wish I did, but that big plus 150 casher was really thanks to your analysis and, as you've taught us, listening.
Yeah. First of all, let's not spread that too far out. You know what I mean? Want to keep it a little bit secret. You know what I'm saying? But yes, it's so funny you say that. I mean, we didn't, we sometimes talk before a show. We didn't talk about this at all before the show. Yesterday, Jimmy the Bag, I was looking at the card. Of course, I'm doing baseball now closely every day. And I was looking at that game. I was huge on the Pirates, huge on the under, huge on the Mets team total under. And I was looking at that game. I was like, man, I hope Jimmy the Bag saw this, and I hope that he's on it. Classic situation. You're absolutely right. That was my biggest play of the day yesterday. Another big play that I had yesterday, though, was the under in the KC game. That was a loser. And then I know you had the over on that one. Nice job on that one, Jimmy the Bag. Overall, I think things are going pretty well. My expectation for any baseball season is, it's not a matter of units. It's a matter of the ROI. My hope is, anything over 1%, positive 1%. ROI is totally fine. 1.5 is great. 2 is awesome. Anything over than that is above expectations. Now, of course, the ROI, what matters then is how many picks that you have, right? If you have an ROI of 10% over 5 picks, that's not that big of a deal. If you have an ROI over 200 picks, then you're talking some real profits. But Jimmy the Bag, overall, your ROI is right where I would ever hope for a Major League Baseball season for myself and any professional MLB handicapper would hope for as well.
Yes, I've watched you do this over 1,000 bets in a season, and I don't know if. Well, look, I don't want to be. I don't want to say. I don't know if I'm capable. I don't want to say that because I don't want to sound like I don't believe in what we are doing here as a whole, but I'm on my way, and it's exciting. Now, how many bets am I in? Let's just pull up my action right now.
Yeah, what's your ROI right now? What's your ROI?
My ROI right now is plus 2.45%, but it's just 371 bets.
So, I mean, shout out to Rocky Menichetti. Shout out to everyone, all the low baggers, J-Dub, Melvin Vacances.
Yeah, Melvin, OG low bagger. Couple things here. Lamont Williams, who is such a big part of our shows when we were down in Costa Rica with his max bets. He had a 17 parlay last night. I had a boy, Lamont. Fat Win is a great handicapper who comes to us from Australia, Pete, and he is giving us French Racing Dieppe Race 3, the one Shariar at odds of 4-1. And some of the things that happened yesterday is a quick recap. I was way off on the game 1 of the Marlins. The Marlins have been hurting me. Pirates first 5 plus 150 was a nice cashier. Tampa Bay Atlanta first 5 under 4.5 was a loser. I hit with Baltimore KC over 9.5. It's just a play against their bullpens, really, and it wasn't even the bullpens that got hit as much as Keegan Aiken got hit. But we'll get more into that. But the couple things that happened yesterday, Pete, was that we didn't know who was pitching in a bunch of the games. There was kind of COVID from the All-Star break hanging over everything.
Yeah, sure.
Then there was weather issues. So one of the things that happened was we didn't know that Chad Kuhl was pitching until near the very end of the show. And I had enough confidence in everything that you'd said about the Pirates to stop and say, let's go back to that game now that we know that Chad Kuhl's pitching. We went right to Chad Kuhl's home road records, and it was, Chad Kuhl's got a 2 ERA. Now, that doesn't work today with Will Crowe. Will Crowe does not have a strong ERA at PNC Park, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Then Chicago, Arizona, first 5 under 5, Pete. This was one of the rare times where I had the confidence to go against the market move. It was all going to the over. The 4.5 went to 5. I said if it goes to 5, I'm going to try to get under it. And then Cleveland, Oakland, first 5 under 4.5 was another bit where I'm actually showing confidence in MLB. They switched the pitchers, and at first I was just going to let it go. They switched the pitchers, and I was like, no, you believed in Eli Morgan, that Eli Morgan was going to have a good start. That means that first 5 under 4.5 is still live. Doesn't matter if it's Bassett or Minaya. The whole idea was that you think Eli Morgan was going to have a good start. So I rebet it, and that felt very good. But big things happened here. Jose cashed his Say Hey play today. We had Taint on the biggest losing streak I've seen in the 4 years that we've worked with him. He got off the schneid with Mookie Betts over a half RBI at plus 110. The Rusty Kuntz play of the day cashed again, and our guy Turnsey is already giving us the Rusty Kuntz play of the day today, and it's White Sox minus 1.5 at plus 175, going for a big score. Pete, we have so much work to do with the MLB card and this NBA card. It is time to go to work. A couple things, though. Christopher Gargaro back in action. He works during the day. I thought one of the great things about us being on a Saturday was there's so many guys that work during the week that'll get to rock with us today, and there he is, Christopher Gargaro in the house.
Huge. All right, let me just give one quick shout out to all the commenters and posters and low baggers, because I don't have time to go down one by one, although I'd like to. All right, let's go, Jimmy the Bag.
Let's get right to work here. We're going to start with the double dip. Game 1, Minnesota Twins at Detroit Tigers, 1:10 p.m. Eastern, Comerica Park, Detroit, Michigan. We have Charlie Barnes, and I don't believe that has changed, that we still have Charlie Barnes pitching in Game 1. And it looks like that is the case here. Charlie Barnes, the 25-year-old drafted in the 4th round in the 2017 draft out of Clemson. And AAA St. Paul this year, the lefty, 5-2, 3.88 ERA, 1.26 whip, 58 innings, 50 Ks, and 19 walks. Going up against Jose Urena, who just keeps getting hit time and time again. And we talked when I had that really rough day how I didn't fade Matt Harvey. It feels like Jose Urena is sort of in that Matt Harvey group where he just keeps getting hit. And I'm wondering if we don't fade Urena or take team totals against them, are we leaving money on the table at this point, Pete?
Yeah. Oh, no. Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, I just saw the just a comment on that. Urena and Harvey, yes, they both suck. What the hell is that?
It's good here.
What is that? Hearing that echo?
No, I don't hear that echo. No, I hear good.
All right, okay. Now it's gone good. Obviously, they both suck massively right now. I would say Matt Harvey's suckage is definitely fundamental. Urena's might not be. It might be injury related. Matt Harvey, unfortunately, unless he gets on some kind of, drugs or has some super AI analytical, program that can change his life, is probably going to suck progressively more massively until he's finally out of baseball. Urena, I think the jury is still out. He did have a few strikeouts in his second to last start that impressed me just a little bit. I hope I didn't talk you off of fading him in his last start because he got hit again. And here, the break might help him again. You can sometimes overthink things and outthink yourself. Seeing something that's like 70% proposition and then being like, oh well, maybe it's only a 63% proposition, so I shouldn't bet it. No, you don't want to do that to yourself. Yeah, I think he's definitely an auto fade right now. The lines didn't come out until late, so I haven't bet this one yet. But I'm definitely looking at just taking. The problem with Barnes, whenever a guy comes up from the minors like this, a lot of times they'll have an advantage in their opening start. So you never quite know what to expect. Sometimes they get jitters and get hit in their first start, and then have a bunch of starts in a row where they're much better because people are unfamiliar with them, and then they regress back to where you would expect from them long term. On the other hand, it's sometimes the opposite of that. So I'm not exactly sure what to expect from Barnes. Definitely looking to fade Urena again, and haven't bet it. Thinking about the first 5 team total over for Minnesota, thinking about maybe the first 5 over, thinking about maybe.
We just lost you there. It's a great pose that you're in, but we did have a frozen Loshak there. Oh, there, you're back in action. You're back in action. So you were thinking about the first 5 team total over for the Twinkies, and then you froze there for a second. What was the other look that you were close to?
First 5 team total over, yeah, and then just the first 5 over maybe, or the Minnesota first 5 money line.
Yes.
But I said I haven't bet it yet, and I'm not sure if I can give an official pick just because the lines came out so late and I didn't make a decision yet.
No, that all makes sense. That all makes sense. A couple things of note here. Urena's last start was another rough one. 5 earned runs, 6 hits, and 4 2/3 in a loss at the Rangers in a pitcher's park against a team that doesn't hit righties hard. The Twins do hit righties hard. 238, 740 OPS. Tigers versus lefties. A year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, they smashed them. They were at the top of the league versus lefties. They started out the year absolutely abysmal versus lefties, and they've been hitting them of late. They've been playing good baseball of late. And they're now at 241, 698 OPS versus lefties. But as a lot of us remember, their OPS was in the high 400s for the first month of the season. The Twins bullpen is so bad, but they are eclipsed by the Tigers bullpen. Twins bullpen 4.90 ERA, 1.34 WHIP. Tigers bullpen 5.73 ERA, 1.47 WHIP. So here, Pete, let's just see if there's any cash if we can talk about that's come in already on this spot. And it's kind of tricky because you know that books will cancel your bet if there's a date change. Clearly, Sports Insights is talking about, because there's 11,200 or 300 tickets in, so clearly they're using yesterday's action as well. So I don't even know. I'm not even going to bother using that right now. That's just going to confuse things. So I'm not even going to use what happened yesterday with 9-inning game, now a 7-inning game. Okay, so Pete, right now I feel like we might be leaving money on the table, not backing the Twinkies here. They open up at minus 114. There's been an 8-cent move towards them. I felt yesterday's game 1 in the Marlins Phillies was a nice spot for the Marlins, and I had that doubleheader kind of mixed up. I think the Twins should be the look here. I think we got to attack Urena. Let's go just quickly to the baseball data and see pitcher versus batter here. Obviously, the Tigers haven't seen Barnes, but Urena, they're hitting 441 with a 1.189 OPS against Urena.
All right, I'll take Minnesota -1 as a play. I'll take that as a play. I'll take I'm seeing minus 122 and then plus 137 on the run line. I'll make that an official play. Yeah, I'm gonna fade Urena here, and if he comes in and is better than expected, or if Barnes gets crushed, that's fine. But I'm gonna take Minnesota -1 official play.
Now that makes sense to me. My book has moved it to minus 130 and plus 135, but the minus 130 might be a little too juiced. Do you have any hesitancy of betting -1s in a 7-inning doubleheader?
No, it's fine. You know what I mean? It's fine, especially with the new rules. Yeah, totally fine.
I agree with this look. So Pete starts his card with the Twins -1. You're getting what, a minus 122 and a plus 137. Better numbers than I will get, and I assume much better numbers than I will get when the show's over and I can bet it. But I'm going to jump in with that as well. I think that game 1 makes sense. Let's move. Christopher Gargaro says lots of value in Urena under 3.5 Ks if you can get it. Says some won't have it lined because of circumstances. Christopher Gargaro doing an absolutely great job on spin rates and who he is fading. And
shout out to him. Thanks for all that. Yeah, go ahead.
Robert Cherry says, why not just take Minnesota first 5 over 3.5 if you don't want a chance?
Minnesota first 5. You mean first 5 team total over 2.5, or the full game 3.5? Yeah,
I guess, yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, just either. What do you think about that?
Yeah, because I think there's there's a chance that Urena could have an okay start, but Barnes will be even better. And no, but I'm definitely leaning Minnesota first 5 team total over 2.5 and full game team total over 3.5 as well. And I might double up on it. I just I
like it. There's game 1. We're going to move right on to game 2 right now, and I don't believe they have confirmed Peralta. Oh, and they've switched it to Alexander. Okay, so Tyler Alexander, the lefty, is going to be on the bump. I thought they were going to go with the vet Willie Peralta. So I'm going to have to take a second to kind of bring up the baseball reference on Alexander as I prepped for Peralta. But Kenta Maeda, 4-3, 4.66 ERA, 1.40 WHIP, 67 2/3, 71 Ks, 23 walks, and 11 home runs. He's not being trustworthy this year. He's not being trustworthy, and at this point we have them at opening up at -167 for game 2, now at -172. It's important to see what happens in game 1 before you make a decision on game 2. But do you have any feel on Maeda in game 2 start, or is that just something you want to move back?
He's not trustworthy, but how many major league starters are? Maybe 8%, 10%. He's fine. I trust him overall. Obviously, start to start, he can get hit. But no, there's no way I would even have an opinion on this game until I see what happens in game 1.
Absolutely. That's well put. All right, well, we've locked in game 1. We're not moving on game 2. Dennis Trusty has a look on race 9 at Saratoga. Wesley Ward says he has huge hopes for the 9 headline report in a wide open race. And we saw what Wesley Ward's Golden Pal did for us on opening day. A nice little $2 pick 3 paid out $370. And I want Wesley Ward to have big horses that aren't 2-year-olds. So I'm excited to hear. So Trusty moving on the 9 headline report at 5-1, and North Ender talking about our producer on the 1s and 2s, Jose. Big news here. You have inspired Jose, Peter, and he's been growing out his mustache, and it is a absolute thing of beauty right now. And so you'll be very excited when you see him grace the screens. Okay, and quick, very nice stat here. There's gas station sushi in the house.
I hope someday I can inspire people to not be inspired by me at all in any area of life. But, we'll talk about that later.
Christopher Gargaro, very nice point before we move past this double dip. Says home teams that lose game 1 of doubleheaders are 9-1 in game 2 since late May.
Sure.
Wow, that's nice. And there's a dono from Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Thank you so much, Don't Ask, Don't Tell. So kind of you to support what we are doing here. All right, Pete, we move on to 3:07 p.m. Eastern. Texas Rangers 35-56, 13-31 on the road at the Toronto Blue Jays, 46-42, 20-20 at home. Oz B says Blue Jays cash yesterday. Should we run it back? I clearly left money on the table yesterday when the weather was it was almost like a defeatist approach I had to that game. And Lyles is somebody I want to fade so badly, and I thought the weather was going to cut the game short, and clearly left money on the table. A lot of you didn't, and shout out to you guys who still hammered the Blue Jays -1.5 and hammered the Blue Jays team total overs. We're in Salem Field in Buffalo, New York. We have Colby Allard. Pete, I have quite enormous amounts of difficulty capping Colby Allard. 2-6, 3.69 ERA, 1.07 WHIP, 63 1/3, 61 Ks, 13 walks, 11 home runs. My eye test on him is bad, but I've also only backed him once this year, and when I did, he lost to Flexen in Seattle and looked like clearly the worst pitcher of the two. He's had 3 of his last 4 starts against the A's. He lost them all, but I thought he pitched pretty well in all of them. The last one, 6 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned runs. There were 4 solo shots. It was his worst outing of the 3. 0 walks, 3 Ks, but we know how hard it is to continually go up against the same opponent. Then you have Hyunjin Ryu, 8-5, 3.56 ERA, 1.17 WHIP. His numbers are better than what when I watch him. I've seen him look a little bit vulnerable this year, but his numbers are quite good. And his last start was a 10-2 win at Baltimore. 5 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, no homers, 2 walks, 7 Ks. The Rangers have a nice enough average against lefties, 246, but no power, 695 OPS. The Jays hit lefties hard, just like they do righties, 254, 757 OPS. We have moved to the last 30 in our bullpen stats. In the last 30 days, The Rangers bullpen 4.08 ERA, 1.20 WHIP have converted 4 of 6. And the Jays bullpen has been better than I thought as well. 3.75 ERA, 1.17 WHIP. Have converted 5 of 6 save opportunities. Let me give Pete a line here. We have this total at 9.5. There's been no change. It's minus 111. It's now moved to the over at minus 111. So there's been a move from juice to the under to juice to the over. And there's been an 18-cent move opening up minus 230, now minus 212 towards the Texas Rangers. Pete, game 3:07 p.m. Eastern, Rangers Jays, take it away.
Yeah, this one I didn't bet. I probably would have looked at it a little bit more closely if there weren't rain in the forecast. I'm assuming that it'll be delayed or probably canceled. If the weather were normal, I would probably be leaning Toronto here anyway, despite the huge line. My numbers indicate that this is not a good spot for Allard and that Ryu should be fine. And obviously a huge advantage for Toronto in the lineup. So yeah, I haven't bet it yet. If there weren't any weather issues, I would probably have already bet Toronto -1 or 1.5, but I haven't bet it, and I don't think I'm going to give a pick on it.
It's been raining all day here in Toronto as well, and Buffalo is not far away. Why don't we just take a quick look at Buffalo weather, although this is what kind of stymied me yesterday. Let's go. So this game's supposed to start at 3:07. There's 54% precipitation at the start, 90% chance of precipitation at 5, and then 72% of precipitation at 8. So
yeah,
unlikely.
And especially on a massive favorite line like that, just a pass for me.
Yeah, and that's what I did yesterday, and it kind of ate at me because if I had have just followed through, at least made the bet, it would have cashed. But on a big favorite, it is dangerous when you have the big advantages on the starting pitching mound. Matty Ice in the house says, in the car on the way home, Matty Ice coaching his son's baseball team yesterday and sent in a winner to us, Mookie Betts over a half RBI. Much love to you, Matty Ice. Drive safe, my man. Okay, we are moving past the Rangers Blue Jays spot as we don't think it'll get paid, but there's 5,300 tickets in, 81% of the money line tickets on the Jays, just 64% of the cash. Interesting. And then 35% of the tickets on the under, but 83% of the cash on the under. And we've seen it move towards the over, which is also interesting. No move from Pete and I right now. And Flipper says, it saddens me. Flipper 13, whom we love dearly, says, it saddens me to learn that Toronto is very close to Buffalo. Says, fins up and go Jays.
Shout out to Flipper 13.
4:07 p.m. Eastern next on the docket, Pete. And I've made no bets pre-show. I did that yesterday. After a tough couple weeks, I just want to work everything out with you guys, and it worked yesterday, and I'm just going to do the same right now. Cleveland Indians 45-43, 21-24 on the road at the Oakland A's, 53-40, 28-22 at home. Oakland Coliseum in Oakland, California. We have it as 69 Fahrenheit and clear, 8 miles per hour out to right center is the weather. Cal Quantrill going up against Frankie Fucktoss Montas. Cal Quantrill, 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 homers, allowed 1 walk, 1 K, and a 14-6 win at home versus the Royals last out. He's 1-2, 4.23 ERA, 1.38 WHIP on the year, 43 Ks at 61 2/3, and he's not trusted by the Indians organization. He is barely holding on to his spot in the rotation right now, and Eli Morgan has definitely moved past him. Montas coming off a great start at Houston. Montas is another pitcher, Pete, that I can't figure out all the time. I had very high hopes for him. Then he had the PED issues, and I don't know what to do with him. We'll break down further stats in a second, but let's let Pete run on this spot. The odds the total opened up at 9. There's been a 1-cent move to the under, and Oakland opened up at -160, a 17-cent move towards the A's. Take it away.
Yeah, I mean, when the lines opened, they were right in line with my numbers, and it's kind of interesting that it's getting bet up a little bit towards Oakland. I guess if it goes, just too high, I might, in my head, think that Cleveland might be worth a shot as a big dog. But the lines look about right to me. Montas is by my numbers, pretty solid and reliable. Not lights out by any means, but pretty reliable, which can be good because if he's going up against an auto fade guy, he can be worth a big bet. Even as a favorite, or if he's going up against a lights out guy, he can be a a reliable bet against, even as a big underdog. Situation like this, again, the numbers look approximately, Oakland should be a solid favorite here, a big favorite here, according to my numbers, right about minus 160. So, I guess if it got up high enough, I'd be thinking about Cleveland as a big dog, but I don't think I could pull the trigger on that one. As of right now, no play.
Interesting. And Mally Mal saying just shut Houston down. We're talking Indians A's, but we have Matty Ice Star, the Taint play of the day, giving us Saturday road Taint game 2, Detroit, Minnesota, first 5 under 5 at minus 120. Game 2 is what he is attacking right now. So we've already talked about those 2 spots. Very interesting that Matty is looking at game 2 here. So I'm going to go first 5, under 5.
Shout out to Matty Ice and Mally Mal.
Is the Taint play of the day. All right, Ramon Scott, another OG Lowbagger, says Cleveland's lost 10 straight as a dog. 10 straight as a dog. So quickly back to this Indians-A's spot.
Shout out to Ramon Scott. Go ahead.
The Indians bullpen over the last 30 days has completely fallen apart. 5.58 ERA, 1.41 whip. They've been so good all year. They've converted just 2 of their last 8 save opportunities. The A's bullpen is doing exactly what I had been waiting for them to do. Start pitching better. 3.68 ERA, 1.14 whip, converted 4 of 12 save opportunities. Let's go over to the baseball data and see what Montas does against this squad right now. Let me move this over. Here we go. Montas against these guys, only 4 batters have seen him, 4 for 16, so not a lot of help there. Let's see where the cash lies in this spot. Here we go. We have 3,278 tickets in, 74% of the tickets on the A's, 86% of the cash on the A's. And then we don't know where the cash lies on the total right now, but we have 65% of the tickets on the over. What is your view on Montas moving forward?
Again, my numbers indicate that he's unusually reliable, which can be a good thing. If someone is reliable but not necessarily great or terrible, that can be very valuable in various spots for the reasons I talked about before. So yeah, I have, and especially when you have a team like Oakland and guys like that, a lot of times it depends on the park and the lineups they'll be going up against. I'm giving away too many secrets here, but that's okay. Like if he's going up against the Red Sox in Fenway in a day that's beneficial to hitting, he's a guy who I wouldn't be afraid to bet on going 3 innings and 8 earned runs. But if he's pitching against the Marlins at the Marlins Park, he's a guy that I would be happy to bet on going 6 shutout innings. So he's fine, serviceable, no problem with me.
No moves for Pete and I in Indians Oakland. Let's move on to 4:10 p.m. Eastern. Chicago Cubs 45-46, 17-29 on the road at Arizona Diamondbacks 26-67, 15-29 at home. We're at Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona. The roof will be closed. Adbert Alzolay is a pitcher that I was backing as he got his season started, and it feels like he sort of hit a rookie wall here. His last start was at home versus the Phillies, 5 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 homers, 1 walk, 5 Ks. His ERA is 4.66 ERA. He's still got a nice whip at 1.09, and he still can get Ks when he needs to anytime, 81 Ks or 77 in the third, so just 22 walks. But it's the 18 home runs allowed that is screaming at you here. 18 home runs and 77 in the third. Going up against Zach Allen, I don't know what to do with him. I thought he was going to have an okay start at home versus the Giants last out. He looked terrible. 3 earned runs in 2 innings, 5 hits, 1 homer, 3 walks, 3 Ks, 11-4 loss. He didn't start the year on time because of injuries, and I thought that he was possibly going to get into a rhythm. That's not been the case. The Cubs don't hit righties. The Cubs are selling pieces. The Cubs are giving up. 218, 687 OPS versus righties. Diamondbacks, 226, 655 OPS versus righties. Both bullpens. So Cubs bullpen went on that massive run about 8 weeks ago. They've fallen apart. 5.46 ERA, 1.38 whip. In the last 30 days, they've only had 4 save opportunities and converted 1. And the Diamondbacks bullpen's just been terrible all year. Last 30 days, 5.62 ERA, 1.54 whip, converted 3 of 7 save opportunities. A lot of moving parts here, Pete. The Cubs open up at -112. They're now at -127, a 15-cent move towards them. This total opened up at 8.5 and has moved to 9. What do you think here? Take it away, Cubbies, Diamondbacks.
Well, regular viewers of my videos know that on all these bets, I have the edge that my numbers imply, and then the confidence number that my numbers imply. And regular viewers of my videos will know that the confidence number is more important to me than the edge number. So this is a situation where there's a lot, as you said, Jimmy the Bag, a lot of uncertainty, and my numbers certainly back that up. The confidence number is low for this game, but it does like Arizona here. I like Arizona here. It looks like a good spot for Gallen. Alzolay, again, as you said, a lot of uncertainty surrounding him. My numbers do like Arizona here, first half, and they like Arizona full game as well, and maybe the Cubs first half team total under as well. Again, the confidence is low, but the numbers do say that there's an edge. So I think I did bet it, and I think I am going to give it as an official play. I don't know if I want to double up on it, but again, the two plays that I would consider here are Arizona first 5 and the Cubs first 5 team total under.
I like that. I like where your head's at here. The Cubbies, I've got that the Cubbies haven't seen Zach Gallen. I'm surprised at that. I don't know if this is being updated here. Maybe I should refresh this and see if that's got that they haven't seen him. It's that second straight home start for him. He doesn't have to worry anything about the All-Star break. I hope that he just stayed in Arizona and kept to his routine.
All right, I'll make it an official pick. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'll take Diamondbacks first 5 innings, money line -108. The current line I'm seeing at Pinnacle.
I think that's a really interesting look, an extremely interesting look. Let's just take a look at the cash in this spot here. We have just 1,235 tickets in, so not a lot to work with, but 23% of the tickets on the Diamondbacks, 13% of the cash, 46% of the tickets on the under, 69% of the cash on the under. I don't know when that got in at 8.5 or 9, so it's a tiny bit confusing. We go to, God, this is happening again. My first 5s aren't. Okay. And then you're getting a much better price on the Cubs if you go full game and if you go first 5. Adbert Alzolay, to me, looks like he's hit a bit of a rookie wall. And I know that Gallen's coming off of a bad start. But I think that this could be a really interesting spot. Okay, I'm going to put Loshak's spot in here. Pete, what did you get on Arizona first 5?
-108. Alzolay is there's a lot of uncertainty here. My numbers are very uncertain about what's likely from him. But I bet it, and I'm going to make a pick anyway. Arizona first 5, money line.
I like it. Okay, I think I'm going to join you on that.
And also a smaller lean to the Cubs first 5 team total under 2.5 at like -145.
Wow, Diamondbacks first 5, Gallen with another road or home start. Ramon Scott says Gallen off DL, last start was 2 weeks ago. That I think the All-Star game was the issue there. Christopher Gargano says Alzolay is in the bottom 15 percentile for most of all hit metrics against hard hit, contact, exit velocity. Robert Allen says D-backs, Loshak, you've lost your goddamn mind. I don't think he has. I think that I'm going to be joining. Andre says if you're going to back the D-backs first 5 is the way to do it. And there's our guy Juan Ruiz in the house.
Shout out to Juan.
Low bagger in the house. I think that's a very, very interesting bet that I find extremely appealing. I'm not going to sit here and hum and haw, but I think I will be joining you there. We move on to 6:05 p.m. Eastern. The Miami Marlins at the Philadelphia Phillies and Vince Velasquez. It just seems like I keep saying there's certain pictures on this card that just get me. And Vince Velasquez is one of them. And those of you guys who joined us in Miami for the Low Bag Summit of Champions 2 years ago, Velasquez was on the mound, and I had the Phillies first 5 -1/2, and the Phillies were up 8-1 going into the 4th, and I lost my first 5 -1/2 because Velasquez is terrible, but he's got such strange situation going on right now, Pete. He shut down the fish on the 29th of July. 7 innings, 2 hits, didn't allow a run, didn't walk a batter, 7 Ks. Since then, in 2 starts, he's allowed 13 runs in 8 1/3 innings. And I wonder if this is a Montas situation where if Velasquez was in Fenway, you wouldn't be surprised if he allows 10 runs. But at home against the Marlins, you wouldn't be surprised if he completely shuts them down. Is this a similar situation?
A little bit different. Velasquez is actually, even though his stats are kind of, at first glance look a little bit, kind of like reliable. Like you can expect sort of the same thing from him in most games, which is like 6 innings, 3 runs. It's actually has a lot more to do about him than the starts, according to my numbers, than the spots. Sorry. This one is my confidence numbers are just in the trash. I'm not even gonna. Yesterday I did well with that doubleheader. This game I'm gonna pass on. My results kind of like Thompson, but my gut tells me that might be a little bit illusory. Pass for me.
Thompson coming off a nice start at the Braves, 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 homer, 1 walk, 6 Ks, 24 innings. He's got 31 strikeouts and 7 walks. He's allowed just 1 home run. He has looked very good. Velasquez, 11-5 loss at the Red Sox last out. He lasted 2 1/3, allowed 8 earned runs, 3 home runs, 4 walks, 2 Ks. Neither team hits righties at all. The Marlins bullpen over the last 3 days has been very good. Now, I've talked highly about them all year. The back end is not that strong, but that middle group seems to get outs easily. The Phillies bullpen over the last 30 has been terrible. 5.32 ERA, 1.41 WHIP, converted 6 of 14. And Robert Allen is on the other side, says he's hammering the Cubs with the great price on that last spot.
Okay.
Yeah, it makes me a little nervous when Robert has that kind of confidence on the spot that we're on the other side. But we're only on the other side first 5, so maybe we can both cash. Okay, let's go to baseball data here against Velasquez. They're hitting .330 with an .865 OPS. A lot of that damage was done in front of us in person. Zach Thompson has not been seen by the opposition. Let's take a look at what the weather is in this spot. We have humid and partly cloudy, 88 Fahrenheit, 11 miles per hour, out to left center. So nice offensive weather. And from a cash flow standpoint, we have 2,837 tickets in. 42% of the tickets on the Marlins, 45% of the cash on the Marlins. And
yeah, I mean, my numbers. Sorry, if there's a play that my numbers would recommend, it would be the first 5 under at 5.5. I haven't bet that one yet.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, it's offensive weather. The full game total has gone from 9 to 9.5. But I get that. I get that whole idea here. I just want to see what the total is done first 5 in the market here. We have, God, Velasquez, I know he's going to hurt me. This total's gone from 5 to 5.5. And yesterday I had the confidence to go against that move for probably the first time all year. But that was a little different with Kyle Hendricks and Madison Bumgarner.
Yeah, just take it easy, Jimmy the Bag. I mean, I'm doing, one show a week. I'm giving official picks, but no one's tracking this shit. You're doing this every day, tracking your picks religiously. No reason to force anything, Jimmy the Bag.
You're right. But I do find the angles make sense to me, and it feels like we can take advantage of biases in this spot.
I'll make it an official play. First 5 under 5.5. And I'll quote a line now while you look into whatever you're looking into, Jimmy.
It feels like we're taking advantage of biases here. Velasquez has had back-to-back just atrocious starts. That's on people's minds. The Phillies raked in Game 1, and then the Marlins offense awoke in Game 2. It's just 5.5. Are they going to put up 6 runs in the first? I know it's offensive weather, but neither team hits righties. I find it a very, very interesting spot that you're on here.
Yeah. 5.5 minus 122, current line of Pinnacle, official play again.
And this could be a spot where I don't even need to maybe bet it right away, as the market moving so fast in the direction of the over. Maybe I can just wait and then attack it late like I did with the Hendricks Bumgarner spot. Okay, very, very interesting. And I think I may be joining. Lamont Williams, max bet. He's parlaying the A's. Frankie Montas K's over. Brewers, Woodrow K's over. Giolito K's over. Garrett Cole and Walker Buehler K's over. Ooh, jeez. Lamont Williams. That's wild. Uncool is on the Phillies money line, minus 122. Robert Cherry says, I like the Marlins first 5 minus a half, and Thompson over 5.5 Ks in this spot. Some would sharp bet Phillies, but I like the Marlins in this spot. Okay.
Shout out to Lamont Williams. Hell yeah.
Yeah. And Christopher Comentini saying the Phillies have been raking overall. They can go off. CT Blades can go off, or can't go off just one game. Okay, yeah, no, I hear that. And there's our man. It's okay. Let's keep rolling, Pete. We go to PNC Park, and God, you must have said it on the first show you were on. If you just flat bet the Pirates at home as big dogs and the unders, I mean, how much money would you have right now? Mets are 47-41, 19-27 on the road.
Could you just not spread that around the world a little bit? You know what I'm saying, Jimmy the Bag? Just rein it in a little bit. You know what I'm saying? All right, sorry, I said no jokes this show. All right, go ahead, Jimmy.
I keep saying it too. Every time you tell me to stop saying it,
I know. It's like the Streisand effect. Yeah, every time I say it, bam, it brings it up again.
Tyler McGill on the bump for the Mets. Now, when he came into the show, he'd only thrown 3 games over Double-A in his career. He was a strikeout machine in the minors, and he's been that in the show. 26 Ks in 18 innings, 9 walks, which is probably a little too many. 3 home runs allowed in those 18 innings. His last start was at home versus these very Pittsburgh Pirates. 7-inning doubleheader. He went 3 2/3, allowed 4 hits, 1 earned run, no homers, 3 walks, and 7 Ks. Let's take a look at the weather here in Pittsburgh. We have 75 Fahrenheit, rain. But the rain is going to go away at some point, so it looks like this game will still go. 9 miles per hour right out to straight away center. And then we have Will Crow. So one of the things we took advantage of with the start yesterday was Chad Kuhl's splits, and they were so good at home. Will Crow doesn't have that. He's got a 6 ERA on the road, about a 5.5 ERA at home. Overall, 6.05 ERA, 1.62 whip. 50 Ks in 55 innings. His last start was at home versus the Braves, and it was pretty good. 4 2/3. He did allow 6 hits, but it was a bend but don't break. Now their bullpen completely got dusted. By the way, this Pirates bullpen has been so good all year. In their last 30 games, now 4.89 ERA, 1.40 whip, but have converted 6 of 7 save opportunities. Mets bullpen struggling a bit as well. 4.28 ERA, 1.34 whip, have converted 5 of 6. Both teams struggle versus righties mightily. Mets just 227, 673. Pirates 235, 673. Neither team hitting righties. Let's give Pete a line and watch him roll. The first 5 opened up at a 4.5 at minus 112. There's been a 4-cent move towards the over there. And when we go over to full game money lines and totals here, we have the New York Mets opening at minus 167, now minus 164, 3-cent move the other way, and a 7-cent move to the over. Still now basically a pick'em at 9, opened up juice to the under. Take it away, Pete, Mets Pirates.
Yeah, on the overnight lines, I looked at my numbers and auto bet Pittsburgh and the under, just like I did yesterday, although I like this one way less, less than I liked yesterday's game. But my numbers still liked it, so I did it. There's also rain in this spot as well. Probably the game's going to be delayed, possibly canceled. So I don't think I'm going to give an official play here. I like it a lot less than I did yesterday, the same bets. And so I'm just going to, and I think the game might be rained out anyway. So pass for me, although I did bet Pittsburgh and the under on the overnight line.
McGill against these Pirates, 286 average, 697 OPS, and only Jonathan VR has seen Will Crow. He's 2 for 2 against them. When we move over to the cash situation here, we have 3,669 tickets in. 84% of the tickets on the Mets, 69% of the cash on the Mets, and there's been no movement, market move, full game towards the Mets. Interesting. 59% of the tickets on the under and 69% of the cash on the under. Feels like this would be another Pirates.
I think the game's going to be canceled, so,
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And Ramon Scott, New York Mets, 0-7 to the under with the ump Hudson. Oof, that's interesting. Very, very interesting. I guess the rain's rearing its ugly head, and I had a nice catch on the Pirates first 5 yesterday. I don't know if I want to go right back to the well. Let's move on to 7:05 p.m. Eastern. Padres at Washington Nationals. Man, the Nats have problems behind the plate. They brought in Rene Rivera. These catchers that they're using now are not comfortable with the pitching staff, and the Padres put up 24 runs yesterday against these Nats. Blake Snell going up against Patrick Corbin. Snell 3-3, 4.99 ERA, 1.55 WHIP, 93 Ks and 70 and a third, 44 walks, so 10 home runs. His last start, he went 4 innings, which seems like every manager just wants him to go 4, never wants him to see the lineup too many times. It was an 11-1 win at the Phillies. Patrick Corbin has looked bad all year, but his last start was against these Padres, and he shut them down. 6 innings, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 2 walks, 3 Ks, and a 15-5 win at the Padres. He's had a rough year so far. 5.40 ERA, 1.40 WHIP, just 73 Ks and 93 and a third, 18 home runs allowed. Padres 238, 715 OPS versus lefties. Nats smash lefties 266, 768 OPS. The Nats bullpen over the last 30 days 5.72 ERA, 1.47 WHIP, converted 7 of 10 save opportunities. Padres bullpen 4.46 ERA, 1.42 WHIP, converted 9 of 14 save opportunities. We got Logan Collins in the house. Logan Collins, absolutely spectacular work in our show yesterday. You were nailing it, absolutely nailing your looks, and you cashed that big parlay, cashed everything that you give out. Here we have rain throughout. Again, 81 Fahrenheit, 10 miles per hour out to straightaway center in this spot. I'll give you a quick line and then hear what you say about it. We have this total opened up under 9.5. It's now juiced to the over 9.5. The Padres have gone from -120 to -130.
Yeah, I mean, this is another one where, because of the rain situation, no bet for me, and I'm not going to give a play on it. Unfortunately, we have a lot of rain in the forecast for today at many places, so that throws a huge monkey wrench into everything. If there weren't any rain issues or any weather issues, my numbers would have a slight lean to the first 5 under and to the Nationals here, but I didn't bet it. No bet, and I'm gonna pass on this one. Snell definitely still has some control issues and some issues on the road, and Corbin in general pretty vulnerable. But this spot is maybe not as bad for him as some of his future starts might be, according to my numbers. So pass for me.
A pass for Pete, and I get it. I mean, when I saw it originally juiced to the under 9.5, I thought, man, there's going to be biases in effect here. And this is going to quickly move to the over 9.5 because of what was seen yesterday. Yan Gomes, the oblique injury to Yan Gomes. So before Yan Gomes got hurt, I think it was Vitalis. Vitalis would tell us, if Yan Gomes is behind the plate, feel free and comfortable to take Nationals or to trust the pitching. And when Yan Gomes is hurt, don't trust the pitching, and that's sure reared its ugly head. CT Base says this game's going to sail over. Snell is no good, and Padres right-handed bats going to feast. Why don't we take a look at the baseball data there quickly against Snell?
It's just, I think there's going to be at least delays in this game, which means that, pitchers who are pitching, whether they're pitching well or badly, are going to be, have unexpected 2-inning appearances. And it's just a pass for me.
I get it. Just small sample size here against Snell, but 3 for 16, so 188, 787 OPS. Josh Bell with the homer against Corbin, 312 and 920 OPS. Joey Harb says rain scares me off this one, and I get it. I absolutely get it. All right, let's move on to Orioles, Kansas City Royals, and we don't know. This is the similar situation from yesterday, where I was saying these bullpens have been so atrocious over the last 30 days that we should just, even if it's Duffy, because we had an idea that might be Duffy, that we should trust that the Orioles can get the lefties and get the runs. It was Keegan Aiken. That was the issue, and the Royals almost cleared the over by themselves. But we did get another glimpse of how bad these bullpens are, even though there was 7 runs put up against the starters. Kauffman Stadium, Kansas City, Missouri. Do we now know who is still undecided here for the pitcher for the Orioles? But Brady Singer on the other side, coming off a loss at home versus the Reds, but he pitched well in that game. 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run. I am one of the very, very few that believe in Brady Singer, and I've cashed some pretty nice spots. I've also cashed some first 5 unders believing in Brady Singer. I know that he's expected to be a very important part of this rotation moving forward. And other Sue's 387 from Hawaii. You will definitely remember Pete, OG Lowbagger there. Orioles versus righties, just 220, 662 OPS. But these bullpens, I'll give the numbers again. Orioles bullpen last 30 days, 6.9 ERA, 1.78 whip. Royals bullpen last 30 days, 6.38 ERA, 1.66 whip. And I guess not enough to base any kind of bet on because we don't know who's pitching for Baltimore. Anything about Brady Singer? Anything interest you here?
Yeah, Brady Singer, you see this, again, a lot in the majors. You see a guy who has potential but gets hit hard for, an extended period of time, and you're thinking, well, this guy just sucks. This guy is just an auto fade. But unless he's like some kind of, veteran and they're just throwing him out there out of respect, there's always a reason why they're doing that. That is definitely the case with Singer. And look at his last start at the end of the half, right? Not bad. I'm not terrible. You know what I'm saying? Not too, a little 6-inning, 2-run start would not be a surprise here at all. I do kind of like the Baltimore first 5 team total under, although, the line I'm seeing right now, I'm seeing at Pinnacle like minus 156, which is a huge favorite line. I didn't bet this one yet. The lines came out late, but definitely leaning Baltimore first 5 team total under. Although I haven't bet it yet, and I don't know if I would pull the trigger at minus 156, but that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I'm thinking of going right back. Well, not necessarily to the over but I think the Royals and Singer can be nice here against the Orioles team that doesn't hit righties, and somebody that I'm high on in Brady Singer. The Orioles have never seen Brady Singer before. Let's just take
All right. I'll give it. I'll make it a pick. It's a high line, but that's okay. Pinnacle line, Orioles first 5 team total under 2.5 minus 156. It is Singer, I understand, but I'm taking it serious today, and we'll make that an official play.
Orioles first 5 team total under 2.5 minus 156.
Yep. Current line of Pinnacle.
And I think the Royals could be in business here as well. I still don't want to trust their bullpen under any circumstances. It might be a first 5 minus a half spot. I'll have to see, obviously, who the Orioles are throwing. There's Sharp Money joining us from Malta. Great to see you. Okay, let's – and Christopher Comatini says it says Jorge Lopez. It says Jorge Lopez. Yeah. I don't know.
That's what I was expecting. Yeah, I mean, it's just this is a game
All right, Pete's chopping up a little bit right now, a little frozen.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Yes, you're back in business. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Sorry. I was just going to say.
Okay, now this is just for gags, I guess. This is just for gags. The timing of that was perfect. We can't hear you. I think you're muted.
Hello?
There
check,
you are.
Check 1 2 microphone. Check 1 2. Okay, we ready? Okay.
Yeah.
I was just saying that this is a game where I would, I'll look at it more seriously at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock Eastern time.
Makes
check
sense.
the lineups, check everything, get settled. But I'll give that as a pick right now. Baltimore first 5 team total under.
And Matty Ice says yes. KC first 5 minus a half is the play. Melvin Batanza says, "What was Pete's last pick?" I missed it because I had to get out of the screen. It was a Orioles first 5 team total under 2.5. minus 156.
But
we move on.
Sorry, it's entirely possible that when I run my numbers at 5 or 6 Eastern time, that KC first 5 will be a much better play according to my numbers.
Cool. Well, we will follow you on Twitter and see what you decide to do. We move on to 7:10 p.m. Eastern. Milwaukee Brewers 54-39, 27-18 on the road at Cincinnati Reds 48-43, 23-21 at home. And those of you enjoying our legendary guest Lotals Loshak, you'll see him again here on Tuesday. Loshak in the bag, right back here on Tuesday. Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati, Ohio. Brandon Woodruff going up against Luis Castillo. Luis Castillo had a very interesting start at Milwaukee last out. 5 1/3, 3 hits, 1 earned run, but 6 walks and 6 Ks in a 3-1 win. He's had a tough year, but he's been pitching much better of late. 4.65 ERA, 1.41 WHIP, 96 Ks and 102 2/3, 45 walks, and his spin rate has gone down dramatically over the last couple months. Woodruff, 7-4, 2.06 ERA, 0.82 WHIP, 129 Ks and 113 1/3. His last start was in that game against Castillo, and he allowed 9 hits in 6 innings. Didn't walk a batter. Struck out just 4. And we have the Brewers hitting just 221, 691 OPS versus righties. That number's going up. The Reds smash righties, 256, 765 OPS. Brewers bullpen last 30 days is best in the league. 2.94 ERA, 1.22 WHIP, converted 5 of 10 save opportunities. Since we started just focusing on the last 30 days, I was telling you, even before that, how good the Brewers bullpen had been. They have now eclipsed the Dodgers as the best bullpen in the league over the last 30 days. And the Reds bullpen has been good. I mean, they got hit very hard yesterday, but 3.77 ERA, 1.42 WHIP, converted 10 of 16 over their last 30 days. Let's give our man Lotals Loshak a line and let him roll. This total's gone from 7.5 to 8, and Woodruff and the Brew Crew have taken a massive move at Pinnacle. 28-cent move, opening up at minus 110 now, minus 138. Wow, take it away.
Yeah, I mean, I did like Milwaukee when this line came out. I was a little bit surprised by where it was because Woodruff is so legit, and Castillo can be legit too. But they've Milwaukee's seen him a bunch of times. His last start was good, but he gave up a bunch of walks. Castillo also has some first inning issues, in his starts in general this year. So I definitely like Milwaukee. I don't know if I want to give him as a play right now at this line. But I think that Milwaukee to score first might be a decent look. It's a little bit juiced, but my numbers indicate that it still has some value at what I'm seeing right now, minus 165 at Pinnacle. So I'll make that an official play. Milwaukee to score first at minus 165. Again, Castillo, a guy who has live stuff, but my numbers indicate that it's not a great spot for him. Woodruff is pretty reliable, and I'll make it an official play. Milwaukee to score first at minus 165.
Milwaukee to score first at minus 165 for Pete Loshak. Lamont Williams, thank you for joining us and sharing your hard work and insights with us. My man Nutflush Allen joining us as well. Piker says Brewers have the largest advantage in the pen, but the key hitters in the Reds lineup smash Woodruff. Brewers hitting 138 versus Castillo, lean under 4 first 5. Overall, this lineup does hit Woodruff hard. 303 with an 853 OPS against Castillo, 239 with a 723 OPS. So let's see who gets to him. Joey Votto, 7 for 20 with 2 homers. Winker, 7 for 17 with a homer. Suarez, 5 for 18 with a homer. Interesting. Very, very interesting. A giant market move over there. Why don't we just take a quick look at the weather here in Cincinnati? We have 82 Fahrenheit, humid and partly cloudy, 6 miles per hour out to right field. And then let's take a look at where the cash lies in this spot. In this Brewers Reds spot, we have 3,908 tickets in. Oh, I think somebody asked me, it was a B-double. Sorry, somebody asked me where they're getting the numbers here for the tickets. It's coming from Sports Insights. I have an account there, and I feel like it's been helpful for all of us knowing, where Sports Insights is letting us know where the tickets are. And I don't know if we can put 100% faith in all these numbers, but they are considered sort of the gold standard in the industry. So here with the Reds Brew Crew, 3,908 tickets in, 25% of the tickets on the Reds, 30% of the cash on the Reds. So clearly that's why the market's moving to the Brew Crew. Then we have 39% of the tickets and 87% of the cash on the under. But again, we don't know if that was at 7.5 or 8. Wyatt Chapman says Castillo going to stick it in Beard Lord. CT Bay says Winker and Votto are key. Brewers offense has been hot over. Trusty says each time these teams play, normally it's just a ton of runs, evenly matched. So he's going for the alternative over. Wow. This market move, I feel like not everything correlates for me to make a move. I can completely understand Pete's look for the Brewers to score first, but it's a little bit too much juice for me. And
I'll tell you a quick secret. We're in the middle of this show, so maybe not too many people will see it. That's a great look. The guy who said the alternative over, right? Whenever you have stud starting pitchers who nevertheless have high volatility, taking those alternative overs can be a great look because you're obviously, if they're stud starting pitchers, they're starting with a very low total, so the alternative over line will not be that high.
Okay, we've got. I know he's saying important things, but he's frozen again, and it's a good look. There, yeah. Okay, we're back. We're back.
Sorry about that. I'm doing this wireless, so that's probably why. Maybe I'll plug in a wire next time. But yeah, nice look on the alternative over. When you have stud starting pitchers who have high volatility, those can be great bets.
I hear you, and I I like it. And Trusty, you're on the right track if you're getting props from Pistol Pete Lotals. We move on to 7:15 p.m. Eastern. Boston Red Sox, 56-36, 28-17 on the road at New York Yankees, 46-44, 23-23 at home. And this leads us to the Say Hey play of the day from our man, Jose. I hope he opens with a mustache cam. He may not. I mean, it's up to him. He may open with the. I'm praying. I'm praying that we see mustache. Jose, how are you?
Gentlemen, we're doing all right. We're doing some on-the-fly producing here, of course, again, because word on the street is there's supposed to be some rain in New York. So if that is the case, I've also prepared with a second play for the next game we're talking about as well. So I just want to let you guys know about that. But yes, the mustache is still here, unfortunately. Pete, I think more and more every day, I think Jimmy's just trying to make me into you. And I think it's very interesting, you know. First it's the mustache, and then maybe he'll give me some growth hormones whenever we meet, and then I'll get the beard. So who knows?
I don't think he's trying to do that. He may be trying to fuck your life up in many different ways, but he's not trying to turn you into me. Trust me on that one. But yeah, I recommend everyone take some Trenbolone, not because I take it, just because I think it helps everyone. But yeah, so did you give a play on this game?
Red Sox Yankees, he's about to give us a spot. There is rain throughout the day in New York, but it does get to light rain at times. I'm not sure what Major League Baseball is going to do with it. 11 miles per hour sideways. Want to give a quick shout out to your pick yesterday, Jose. You went up against a legitimate market move in the first 5 under in White Sox Astros and cashed it. And that's a very ballsy, dangerous thing to do. And you did it with aplomb. We have Eovaldi and Cole starting right now. I'm just going to pull. Oh, there it is. Okay. Eovaldi versus Cole going on right now. And Cole coming off that complete game 3-hitter. It was a thing of beauty. 12 Ks and a 1-0 win at the Astros. It was a thing of beauty. Eovaldi coming off a tough start at the Angels, and it was really hurt me as I double dipped on the Red Sox that day. He allowed 9 hits, 5 earned runs, and 5 2/3. Red Sox smash righties. The Yankees do not. Red Sox bullpen over the last 30 has been excellent. 3.48 ERA, 1.32 WHIP, converted 8 of 11. They've been good all year. Yankees bullpen over the last 30 has been bad. Now it's mainly because of Aroldis Chapman looking so bad, but 4.71 ERA, 1.27 WHIP, converted 3 of 6 save opportunities. And let me just give you a quick line, and then we'll keep you around for the next game. But the line here that we were looking at for Yankees, Red Sox, Yankees opening up at minus 150 and a huge move towards the Red Sox, 26 cents over to the Red Sox. Yankees are now minus 124, and this total sitting at 8. Take it away. What was your plan?
Yeah, so I think the last couple of Cole starts, aside from his good one here, I think I bet against him. Honestly, I have avoided that landmine. And by the way, Jimmy, do you have a good Kermit the Frog voice? Is that in your bag of impersonations?
No, man, my bag is small, very small bag.
Okay, I'm just wondering because I don't have one, and Garrett Cole sounds exactly like Kermit the Frog, so I imagine him always riling up the boys, sounding like Kermit. But I'm not a Garrett Cole guy, as you guys may know. He was a spider tack user. He had his first good start in a while. He's not a bum pitcher, but the Red Sox hit him well, and Nathan Eovaldi, guess what? Pitches against these Yankees well. So initially, my play was the under 8 full game in this. But I also was leaning towards Red Sox first 5 for I deleted the odds now since of course I thought the rain was coming, but I think it's around plus 160, plus 140, around there for first 5 minus a half against Cole. I think Nathan's been an all-star pitcher this year. He just came back from the game. He's been the best pitcher on the Red Sox, I would say. I've been saying this all year as well. So, and he kind of dominates the Yankees. He's pitched against them a couple times this year, and each time it's been a pretty resounding success for Eovaldi. He's pitched away, he's pitched at home against them. He dominates. He's dominating with both one-run appearances. So I like the under. If this game gets played, I'm also going to sprinkle some Red Sox first 5 minus a half. as well, because I think you can get a good price there. Double checking the number right now. Yeah, it's plus 164. So I think that's a big underdog you can take when the Red Sox are the better team. Cole's been shaky, and the Red Sox have their best starter out there.
Very, very interesting look here. So we'll lock in both and see if they go full game under 8 and Sox first 5. What was the line on the first 5?
First 5 minus a half at plus 164 right now on Pinnacle.
Minus a half at plus 164. And what was the full game under 8?
The full game under 8, Jimmy, is minus 106.
At minus 106. And quickly against Eovaldi, the Yankees are hitting 243 with a 600 OPS. Against Garrett Cole, 256 with an 821 OPS. And moving over to where the cash lies, we have just 2,000 tickets in at this point. 61% of the tickets on the Red Sox, just 40% of the cash in this huge market move towards Boston. Interesting. 52% of the tickets on the over, 50-50 on the cash. We are going to keep our man Jose around for the next game. But what do you think, Pete, of these looks on Red Sox full game under 8 and Red Sox first 5 minus half plus 164? All right, let's just wait a second.
Give him a second.
Okay, there he's there.
Sorry, you want me to? You want to make an on-the-fly production decision? Should I go down and get my my modem and plug it in up here, and or should we? Is that worth doing? I don't know.
We'll keep rolling. Well, it's good enough. We're good enough.
As soon as this line came out and I saw the Yankees a minus 150 favorite, I immediately hit Boston. That line was just way too high. I'd still like Boston here. Anything at plus money, I like Boston. I echo everything you said about Cole. I've been sort of auto-fading him over the past bunch of starts, including the last start where I lost, but that's fine because overall fading him has been profitable. I don't have an opinion on the total. Definitely like Boston, and that's as much of a fade of the Yankees as it is of Cole. Definitely like Boston. First 5 and full game as a dog, but I also think that this game probably is going to get rained out. We'll see how it turns out, but I wouldn't mind giving it as a pick anyway, even at the current lines and even with me expecting the game to get canceled. But yeah, agree with everything you said.
So did you want to make an official spot here, Pete?
Yeah, I'll make it an official. I'm just afraid to click on something and I'll make my internet go down. I'll give it an official play. Well, I'll search for a line, and why don't you guys take over in case my internet goes down.
Okay, Pete, and then so Pete's going to give us the official line and the official pick here in a second. We have a couple questions that have come in for Pete and a couple things here. Razor Sharp picks Gambler's First Glance is in. Check it out on his Twitter page and on Pub Sports YouTube page. Marlins money line at plus 107 for Gambler's First Glance. We have a question for Pete, but we also have a couple things here. Nutflush Island says, no pressure, Pete, but Bailey turned 18 yesterday and said she wanted a birthday pick. And most importantly, she said, thanks for telling her that drugs will mess you up. She said to tell you that she listened.
Exactly. And because I presented it to her in a truthful way, I was like, there's a reason people do drugs, because from a certain perspective, they're awesome. But then when they kill you and mess up your life, that's the non-awesome part, which is why I want to stay away. Shout out to you, Bailey. All right, I'll give a birthday pick. And again, I apologize on behalf of my entire generation for leaving this fucked up world to you. Hopefully you can fix it. But in the meantime, all I can do is offer you a birthday pick. I will do that. And this line is crashed. I did see 115 as the best line. I'll make that an official play, even though, I like it a lot less than when it was like 135. Shout out to Nutflush Allen. Shout out to all of you. It's so funny. I'm just like, my brain is in pure handicapping mode right now. It's a little hard for me to be like friendly and jovial and
what a run he was on.
He was going so well. I think okay, he's back. Okay. So we have a question for Pete.
I said plus 115 was the line that I quoted for Boston, even though I think the game's going to be canceled.
Red Sox plus 115. We have a question from Mike M. Says, Pete, have you noticed any benefit in fading a pitcher in the next game after they go deep or a near no-hitter?
pitcher dependent. It is pitcher dependent. There are some pitchers where that is the case, some pitchers where it's not. With regard to like Trevor Bauer was an example who would have, back when he was using the stuff years ago, he was an example of a pitcher who would have repeated excellent high pitch count starts in a row, just line them up. With other pitchers, that's definitely not the case. So it's an interesting question. I could answer it more fully, but there's some secrets involved there. I like the way you're thinking. It's an excellent question, and the answer I would say is it's pitcher dependent. In some cases, that is definitely the case. With other examples, it's definitely not the case. Excellent question. Who the hell? That guy has a bright future in this discipline. Excellent question, Mike. To you.
On top of that, I'll add on. Sometimes you just have to look at their career. If they've never gone, let's say it's like a Dallas Braden situation where a guy has like never seen the mound of a ninth inning baseball game before, and they come back the next start and they have to go through that taxing process again, and they've never done it like after that big start in the majors, then that's one of those spots where you should ask questions about his performance.
And also, there are some kinds of pitches that are more taxing to the elbow than others, like the sliders, for example. So if you see a pitcher who throws a lot of sliders, I'm giving away a lot of information here, but that's okay, because I guess it doesn't really matter if the world's going to end in 5 years or whatever. If you see a pitcher who throws a lot of sliders are very taxing on the elbow. Excellent line of thinking. Excellent question, Mike M.
And Logan Collins saying, Pete, letting you know the game will be played, brother. He says, I'm sitting right next to the stadium. It has not rained yet. And about 50% chance, like the odds of no rain. Good luck, man. Hope you win. Okay, so we have locked in stuff from Pete, Red Sox plus 115. From Jose, full game under 8 at minus 106. And first 5 minus a half at plus 164. And we are keeping Jose's mustache around for one more game. 7:15 p.m. Eastern. Houston Astros 56-36, 27-17 on the road at Chicago White Sox 54-36, 31-15 at home. Right, guaranteed rate field. Chicago, Illinois. Jake Odorizzi coming off a nice start. It was a 4-0 loss at home versus the Yankees, but he went 6 innings, allowed 7 hits, 2 earned runs, no walks, and 4 Ks. His whip's now down to 0.99, 44 Ks and 47 and a third with a 3.61 ERA. Going up against Giolito. A lot of talk about him deteriorating without the spider tack. His last start was okay, 5 and a third, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 9 Ks, 8-3 win at the Orioles. I guess it was good. Giolito has a 1.17 whip and 125 Ks and 104 innings still, but 18 home runs allowed in those 104 innings. The Astros smashed righties, 262, 778 OPS, and the White Sox numbers versus righties have been improving. Now 253, 746 OPS. Astros bullpen last 30 days been excellent, 3.14 ERA, 1.22 whip, converted 7-9. We saw that again yesterday, how strong their bullpen's been. And the White Sox bullpen over the last 30 days has struggled. 4.81 ERA, 1.43 whip, converted 6 of 8 save opportunities. All right, Jose, before we watch you roll in this spot, let me give you a line to work with, and that is the White Sox as minus 125 favorites first 5, and full game we have them opening up at minus 108. They're now at minus 109, and this total's come from 8.5 to 9. Take it away, Jose.
Yeah, I'm on the Astros here. And this is actually would be a double up spot for me, to be honest. I'm on the Astros first 5 minus a half again, plus 144, and I'm on them full game. Right now they're at about even money on Pinnacle at 101. I'm on Jake Odorizzi now. Jim, we talked about him I think a couple weeks ago. He's really turned his season around. It's been quite impressive what he's done. I watched him live and in person get fucking rocked against the Red Sox, and I was not impressed whatsoever. But it's been a fairly hot streak for him. Last start, 6 innings, 2 earned runs against the Yankees. At Cleveland goes 2 earned runs and 6. At Detroit, 5 no earned runs. At Baltimore, 5 no earned runs. The competition is not the best there, but it's still zeros. And if you want to extend it one more, he goes 4 no earned runs against Texas too, and that was the start right after he gets shelled by the Red Sox. So I think that they might have the sneaky matchup advantage on the mound. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily sticky stuff that Giolito is missing. I think it might be just he's not as great of a pitcher as he's shown the last couple of years. I mean, we saw him struggle in Washington. He was there. I believe he was their number one, or not over number one, but a first round pick. Yeah, he was a first round pick, 16 overall to the Nationals. So he was a highly touted prospect. Came up, struggled mightily, really struggled, and then the White Sox got him on the cheap. So maybe he's just not that guy, and I think that's interesting, And I'm glad you brought this up, Jimmy. The Rusty Kuntz. My favorite hockey player now that I'm figuring out one day by day.
He's a baseball player.
He's also a baseball player too. He has a brother, but I'm afraid to go against the Rusty Kuntz. So that's why I was mainly looking at first 5 -1/2 for these Astros.
Maybe it was Turnsies your favorite hockey player. Maybe that was it, not Rusty Kuntz. Look, I get it. I get the look. I'd love to hear. Could you line shop first 5 in full game for us, Jose? And let's hear what Pete has to say about this spot, Astros White Sox.
Yeah, I was all over Houston yesterday. This game, my numbers like Houston again, although the confidence numbers are low. Giolito, yes, I've been auto fading him pretty much every time out for about a month now, and my numbers like Houston again here, very very uncertain as far as Odorizzi is concerned. So I'm not going to give an official play on this one. Numbers do like Houston. Vague lean to the Houston team total over as well, but no play.
75 Fahrenheit clear, 10 miles per hour sideways. We'll go over to baseball data and see if that illuminates anything for anyone. Against Odorizzi, they're hitting 297 with a 739 OPS, so 30 for 101, but just one home run in those 30 hits. Against Giolito, 255, but with an 888 OPS, 13 for 51, but 3 doubles and 4 homers in those 13 hits. So very, very interesting. Christian Larton says Odorizzi has faced some weak offenses lately.
Yes.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay, let's see where the cash is, and then let's line shop for our man, Jose. We have in this Houston White Sox spot 3,265 tickets in. 58% of the tickets on the White Sox, 89% of the cash on the White Sox. And no real definitive market move towards them. Then 44% of the tickets on the under and 85% of the cash on the under, but that is a little confusing because it's gone from 8.5 to 9. Turnsey says, Pete says the world is ending in 5 years. Can we quote him on that? Of course. And he says he's about to put his retirement on the Red Sox plus 115.
Approximately, give or take, 25 years on that. It could be 30. It could be 30.
Okay, Jose, first 5 full game double up for you. What's the first 5?
First 5 here, we've got -1/2 at plus 144, and then full game, I've got even money, basically at 101.
Wow, another big plus line spot there.
You know me, Jimmy. I love these big plus money spots.
And you know me, Jose. I love your mustache. So
yeah, unfortunately,
and we know
it's caught fire.
It's
caught fire.
And he did.
You do look very Buddha-esque. Jim, you want to write some Buddha shtick for him for future shows? I'll help with that. I can give you some lines.
Perfect.
I've got a round face. I have a round face, and my cheeks are in fact chubby. So.
Encourage your followers to release their attachments to spin rates. You see? That's not bad. I can write some shtick, a couple lines here and there.
There we go. There we go.
That's nice.
I like this idea already. This is all coming together. I think, I'll admit it. I don't want to ruin a good thing here, but I think this is the longest I've been on the show without Jimmy yelling at me for doing something. So this is a good little streak I've got going on here.
And I'm proud of your win yesterday. It was very, very nice. Going against the market move with strength and confidence and cashing it. I was very impressed. I love it. There we have Jose, back-to-back spots. We don't know if Yankees Red Sox is going to go. If it does, he's on the full game under 8 at -106 and the first 5 -1/2 at plus 164. Another big plus line for him. He's on the Astros first 5 -1/2 at plus 144 and full game -101. Jose, say hey plays of the day. Great hustle, my friend. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you guys as always. I appreciate it. And as always, guys, just remember that I'm going to win this. We only need one to hit. and I'm going to make up for my performance on the horse stream, talking about F1 and not horse tracks. So I'll do my best.
That was awful. That was just awful. Okay, 7:15 p.m. Eastern. Next up, San Francisco Giants, 58-32, 28-19 on the road. Can you really? Jose's on a horse racing show. They ask him if he's ever been to a racetrack before, and he starts talking about F1 racing. Okay. Cardinals are 44-47, 23-19 at home. We're at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri. Anthony DeSclafani on the bump, 10-3, 2.68 ERA, 1 WHIP, 107 in the third, 99 Ks, 29 walks, 11 home runs. His last start didn't allow a run in 6 innings, allowed 3 hits, 1 walk, 6 Ks, and a 10-4 win at home versus Nationals. And that made me think right away, Pete, that I would suspect DeSclafani's splits would show that he is better at home in that pitcher's ballpark. And that, surprisingly, is not the case. At home, he's 5-1 with a 3.60 ERA, opponent's batting average of 225. On the road, 5-2, 2.14 ERA with a 185 opponent's batting average. That caught me by surprise, going up against Kwang Young Kim, who did not look good to start the season and has looked good lately. In his last start, 6 innings, 5 hits, didn't allow a run, 1 walk, 7 Ks, 6-0 win at the Cubs. Kim hasn't allowed a run in back-to-back starts. The Giants hit lefties hard, 246, 759 OPS. The Cardinals don't hit righties at all, 236, 76 OPS. Matty Ice saying under. Giants bullpen last 30 days, 3.30 ERA, 1.14 WHIP, converted 7 of 10. Cardinals bullpen, 4.47 ERA, 1.46 WHIP, converted 4 of 5. Very, very interesting game here. Let me give a market line and let Pete run. Giants, Cardinals. We have the total opening up at 7.5. It's moved to 8. And the Giants have gone from -110 to -117 at Pinnacle. Take it away.
Yeah, my Matty Ice. Shout out to Matty Ice. My numbers like the under in the first 5 under more. 4.5 -123 at Pinnacle is what I'm seeing right now. Could lose a little bit no-brainer-ish. DeSclafani obviously is legit. And Kim, you remember when he came back and Jim, you weren't sure what to make of him, and I said, no, this guy, he'll be good when he gets it all together, and that has definitely been the case. I'll make it an official play. I can't exactly explain why the line is so much off from where I would put it, where my numbers would put it, but I'll make it a play. First half under 4.5 -123.
First 5 under 4.5 at -123 for Pete. That makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense, and I'm curious as to why this line has gone up right now. Let's just take a look at just the first 5 and not the full game, which we've seen has gone up. It opened at 4 and it's gone to 4.5.
I do expect DeSclafani to come, crashing at least a little bit down to earth at some point in the future. I said the same thing about Marcus Stroman. If you recall, Jimmy the Bag, and that did kind of happen to him. Expecting the same thing from DeSclafani, but my numbers still like him, and there's other factors involved that make me like the under. So official play.
God, so yesterday was the first time, and I truly think it was the first time all season where I said, you know what, I'm going to go up against this market move, this blatant market move, and I was successful. But I'm nervous doing it, and you beat baseball year after year after year, so I can understand why you don't have concerns doing it. Let's take a look at a couple more things. First off, the weather is nice for an under. It's 84 Fahrenheit, but it's 6 miles per hour in, which is, I know it's a hitter's ballpark and it's warm, but at least the wind is coming in. Then we'll go over to baseball data here, batter versus pitcher. Against DeSclafani, they're hitting .314 with a 968 OPS. Against Kwang Young Kim, just 182 with a 432 OPS. Interesting. And then let's just take a look at where the money is. 6,115 tickets in, so we get a nice sample size here. 80% of the tickets on the Giants, 76% of the cash. And here we go, 67% of the tickets and 61% of the cash on the over. And, I don't know if I have the balls to go against this market move, and you're able to fearlessly attack it.
I wouldn't say fearlessly, Jimmy the Bag. I would say, with fear. I'm trying to have less fear in today's game. Yeah, and it doesn't make any sense to me. And when a line doesn't make sense and then it moves in the opposite direction, yes, that is definitely a concern. Real professionals, they play the old now I like it even more card, which I guess I should be playing. And I won't play that card quite, but I will play I'll make it the birthday pick card. How about that? I got to make a birthday pick for Bailey.
Wow.
It's possible that the era of birthday picks has ended. Why? Because I've lost 2 in a row, which for birthday picks is kind of crazy. Jimmy the Bag. I got to give a birthday pick to Bailey. Again, I'm not exactly sure what the deal is here with this market move and the line, but I will make that Bailey's birthday pick. Wow. Bailey Nutflush Allen. Happy 18th birthday. Don't bet this. The birthday pick, the era of birthday picks might have crashed like Rome 2,000 years ago, but I'm still doing it for now, and there you go. First 5 under, 4.5 minus 123, Jimmy the Bag.
Wow, what enormous Loshak balls displayed on the table for all to see. This is amazing, the strength you have to go against market moves. It's a sign of skill, and it just scares me so much, and I don't know what to do. I need to think about that a little more. But the birthday pick is in. And also, Jose, we're going to need birthday pick graphics because I do not believe the era of the birthday pick is done.
I don't know, Jimmy the Bag. People newbies don't know. Newbies don't understand. Those birthday picks were when I started tracking them is when I started to realize how great they were doing. And I only started tracking them because I was like, I haven't really lost a birthday pick in like 3 months. Maybe I should start tracking these. But 2 horrible birthday picks in a row. Could be number 3 here. We'll see.
Well, let's keep rolling. We move on. We have 3 games left on the baseball card. Then Pete and I will discuss NBA Finals Game 5. And right after this show at 1 p.m. Eastern, the NBA Pub Hub will be on with Babano, C-Mac, Dutch Boy Fresh, Ski Profit. I'll be jumping on that show as well. Let's go into this spot now. 7:20 p.m. Eastern, Tampa Bay Rays, 54-37, 26-20 on the road at the Atlanta Braves, 44-46, 24-23 at home, Truist Park in Atlanta, Georgia. Josh Fleming. So they don't trust Fleming in Tampa, and I like what I see from him, but you got to trust the experts here. He has not started in some time. His last appearance was July 7th, and then his last start was in mid-June. He went 6 1/3, and he got hit. 7 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 homer, 2 walks, 5 Ks in a 6-5 extra inning loss at the Mariners. His last appearance, though, was nice. It was a doubleheader, 7-inning doubleheader at home versus the Indians. I believe it was a doubleheader that they no-hit him, and he went 2 2/3 of that. Of course, didn't allow a hit or a run, 1 walk and 2 Ks. Going up against Max Fried, 6-5, 4.71 ERA, 1.39 WHIP, 72 2/3, 72 Ks, 25 walks, and 9 home runs. In his last start, he went 5 innings, allowed 3 earned runs, 9 hits, 1 homer, 1 walk, 5 Ks, and 5-4 win at Miami. The Rays are terrible against lefties. Sharpie's showing us the alarming strikeout rates they have against lefties. And then they hit just 225, 678 OPS. Braves versus lefties, 241, 733 OPS. Over the last 30 days, it will surprise you to know that the Braves bullpen has been much better than the Rays bullpen. Braves bullpen, 3.72 ERA, 1.31 WHIP, converted 6 of 8 save opportunities. The Rays bullpen, 4.26 ERA, 1.21 WHIP, converted 3 of 5 save opportunities. Logan Collins says Rays easily. Let's give a market to Loshak and watch him roll. We have Tampa, Atlanta, interleague action. This first 5 has had a slight movement to the under. The over 4.5 was juiced to minus 115. But let's go to money lines and totals, full game here, and see what we are dealing with. We have the Braves opening up at minus 107. They're now at minus 110. And this 8.5 total was initially juiced to the over at minus 116. It's now juiced to the under at minus 109 at Pinnacle. Take it away, Pete. Interesting spot here, Rays Braves.
I don't know. I'm starting to feel a little bit sick about that birthday pick now. Like, what's going on? I've seen this many times before. Maybe I should change that. All right, Rays, Braves. My numbers like the Braves here. My numbers don't like Fleming in this spot. Fried is a big question mark here. My numbers are kind of down on Fried, but my gut tells me that they're being a little bit too harsh on him. And of course, with Acuna out for Atlanta, that's a big question as well how things will adjust, because as we know, there's oftentimes synergistic effect on lineups when a hitter like him goes out. My numbers like Atlanta. They like the over. I didn't bet either of them yet. The confidence numbers surrounding this game are very low, which is why I didn't bet it yet. As of right now, though, yeah, lean to Atlanta, lean to the over, but those are definitely not bets yet.
The weather today, 82 Fahrenheit, overcast, 7 miles per hour, out to left field. The Fried has had 12 at-bats against the Rays, just one hit. So they're 1 for 12 against them. And only Guillermo Heredia has seen Fleming. So let's take a look at where the cash lies in this spot. We have 56% of the money line tickets on the Rays and 71% of the cash. Then we have 57% of the tickets and 56% of the cash on the over. Now, there's just 1,324 tickets in, so a small sample size. North Ender says, Fried actually being decent at home, but I just cannot bet Atlanta. Mally Mouse says, God damn Braves. Lanil Land says, if Tampa Bay wins, it's going to be big. And Tampa Bay over. And Logan Collins liking the Raves with confidence, -1.5 and plus 155.
Yeah, I mean, it's the what to expect from Fried is a big question mark, and then there's other question marks around here as well. So, my numbers are tempting me to pull the trigger, but I don't think I'm going to.
Wow, Kev, my bad. I've fallen behind. I had my mom in town and was doing family stuff over the All-Star break, and then, doing all these horse shows. So I apologize, my man. I will catch up. Logan Collins says Fried will not pitch over 3 innings. Jesus,
yeah.
I
don't lean to the over as well at 8.5.
Yeah, it's funny because that's where the cash, or a small, I guess, 57% of tickets, 56% of cash, but the market moving towards the under. Oh, God. Well, you know what? This is a struggle, these games for me, these last few, and I've not made many moves. Why don't we just let Flipper take over? He says, I'm trying to get my wife to shave my back, but she's reluctant.
Okay.
8. Why would she be reluctant? We move over to 8:10 p.m. Eastern. LA Dodgers.
He has this idea in her head of what Flipper 13 is, and shaving his back just screws it all up. I hear you. Shout out to you, Flipper 13.
57-35 for the Dodgers. 27-21 at home. At the Rockies, 40-52, 31-18 at home. Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. I've had a lot of success when a lefty's been up against the Dodgers this year, and I was a little surprised to see they are hitting 234 with a 738 OPS against lefties. I just think it's an inflated market whenever the Dodgers offense is up that I've been, that's why I found success with this spot. Going up against Walker Buehler, Freeland Buehler. Buehler 9-1, 2.36 ERA, 0.92 whip, 114 Ks and 114 in the third, 26 walks, 13 home runs. Last start went 6 innings, allowed 3 hits, no runs, no homers, 2 walks, 7 Ks, and a 22-1 win at home versus the Diamondbacks. Freeland last start at the Padres was pretty good. 5 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 3 Ks. It was a 4-2 loss. This year, he started out so badly, but he's been pitching better and better. The Rockies don't hit righties, 231, 684 OPS. And the Rockies' bullpen has not been a train wreck the last 30 days, 3.82 ERA, 1.23 whip. Dodgers' bullpen last 3 days has been very good, 2.98 ERA, 1.17 whip. Let's give Pete a market to roll with, but this game I find very interesting, and I expect to be betting it. This total at 11.5 is now juiced to the over slightly, 2-cent move towards the over. And Walker Buehler and the Dodgers opened up at -255. They're now at -234. Pete, I love when lefties go up against the Dodgers, but I have not moved yet. Do you have any interest or thoughts or angles, Dodgers, Rockies?
Yeah, I mean, on the overnight line, I definitely hit the Rockies at this line and the under at 12, and both of those lines have moved in my favor. It's anytime you're getting a plus 200 dog, almost by definition, it's a scary thing to do, to bet on it. But in spots, there can be big value there. And I think this is one of those cases. The Rockies should be a big underdog here, but not quite that big. So I bet him at, I forgot what line I got, like in the 230s. And I also took a shot with the under at 12. And I got a good line there. And I would also have a lean to the Rockies first 5 as well. I think my favorite play, though, would have been the full game under, which is I think I would also agree with that. And I was thinking about making that one the birthday pick, for a full game under 12. It's moved to 11.5, but some places I'm seeing still have 12. I don't know if I want to give those officially right now, but I probably will. Again, overnight, I bet Colorado as a huge dog and the under, and still like both of them, although a little bit less.
I like it, and I get it. Now, the bullpens have been good for both, so there's no need to focus on the first five. Did that first five at 6.5 appeal to you? Yeah.
Yes. Also, as well, yes. But in a game like this, I wouldn't want to double up on a total,
No, and you preferred the full game because of the strength of the bullpens last little while.
Yeah, I mean, my numbers just like the full game a little bit more, so yeah, sure.
Very, very, very interesting and helpful here. And then first five, I wonder, I'd be curious to see what I'd get on it. Okay, so I'm definitely making moves here. Let's just jump in a little bit more, a little bit more. By the way, Turnsey says, Pete, you are a gift sent to all of us from the heavens above.
Oh, no. Okay, yes, maybe so. I hope so. Yes, hell yeah.
And Sharp Money says that to Flipper that he's been trying to get his wife to pluck his ears, but she's using "I'm 7 months pregnant" card. And Puzzlers let us know that sharks fear hairy dolphins. I did not know that. Okay, so let's go to baseball data here and look at a couple different things. First off, the weather: 88 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, and 12 miles per hour, sideways but out to right. Sideways out to right. Then let's take a look at the batter versus pitcher. Against Walker Buehler, 248 with a 767 OPS. And against Kyle Freelander, 287 with an 868 OPS. I'd like to look at where the cash is. Then I want to quickly look at the splits here because I'm going to be moving on this, and I want to ensure that I do it right. We have 5,396 tickets in. 80% of the tickets on the Dodgers, just 59% of the cash. Extremely interesting. And that would be telling me that there's, some either syndicates or sharp bettors or what that believe that we're going to get a nice start from Freeland. Then we have 55% of the tickets on the over, but just 36% of the cash on the over. Very, very, very interesting. Do you have any more points, Pete, before I bring up the splits?
No, go ahead. I'm just thinking about what I want. I'm just trying to look inside of myself and gather some balls to give the under and maybe to give Colorado first five or full game. Go ahead, Jimmy the Bag.
Would you then be interested in the Rockies plus a half or not?
Sure. Yeah, all those highly correlated bets. I would be interested in all of them. Yeah.
Okay, and we got to move. I think this might need a little bit more time here, but at Coors Field this year we have Walker Buehler. Sorry, let me move it. At Coors Field this year, 6 innings, 2 earned runs. I mean, if he throws that, I got to be looking good. Pete, it sounded like you came to a decision.
Yeah, I'll give it Colorado full game under 12 minus 118. I'll take that one. Definitely leaning first five under as well. But I'll make the full game an official play for now. I'll just keep. You know what? I'll double up. I do like the under here. I do kind of like the under here, and
Okay, Pete, you're cutting in and out just for a second. Wait, I will wait to see movement from you and know that you are back in action. But it sounded like a double up was coming. Okay, you're back, Pete. What you want on first five as well?
Whatever. I'll double up. Full game 12 minus 118 and first five under 6.5. And I am seeing a bunch of 110s actually. So I'll take first five under 6.5 minus 110 and the full game under 12 minus 118.
Logan Collins says my one buddy who's done pretty good has 50K on the under 12. I'm going to be moving on the under. I don't know if I want to double dip here. So I'm going to need some time to figure that out. But I will be moving on the under as well. I like that look a lot. And I think I'm going to focus on the under rather than the first five, plus a half or first five Rockies, although I do get it. Okay, so we have one more game, and then we'll go into NBA. And again, in 20 minutes, NBA Pub Up right here on Pub Sports Radio. 9:07 p.m. Eastern, Seattle Mariners 49-43, 20-23 on the road at the Angels, 45-45, 26-21 at home. Logan Collins was so confident on the over in last night's ball game between the Mariners and Angels, 6-5 final. Great job. We got Kikuchi going up against Alex Cobb, two pitchers that I've had a rich history, and I don't mean cash rich. With Kikuchi 6-4, 3.48 ERA, 1.09 WHIP, 98 in the third, 98 Ks, 34 walks, 16 home runs allowed. His last start was bad. It was at the Yankees. I thought he was going to have a good one. He did not, and it cost me 5 innings, 8 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 home run, 3 walks, 5 Ks, and a 5-4 loss. Cobb just has my number. I have this terrible vividness bias of him back in his Rays days against the Jays when he was very good. He has not been good for some time, but his numbers aren't bad. And his strikeout per 9 ratio is way higher than we're used to. 74 Ks to 66 innings, 20 walks. He's allowed just 3 home runs in 66 innings. In his last start, went 5 in the third, allowed 4 hits, 2 runs, none were earned, 3 walks, 5 Ks in a 7-3 loss at the Seattle Mariners. The Mariners don't hit righties, 217, 672. The Angels smash lefties, 260, 778. Mariners bullpen the last 30 days has been a full run better than the Angels bullpen. Interesting spot here. Let me give Pete a line and watch him roll. We have, that's first 5. We have the Angels as a considerable favorite. First 5, minus 130, I should say considerable. Full game here, we have a total opening up at 8.5. And the Angels open up at minus 120. They're now minus 135. Pete, take it away, Mariners Angels.
This one I have no play on. The lines look relatively accurate according to my numbers and low confidence. As you said, both Kikuchi and Cobb come with low confidence numbers as far as what to expect from them. So it's just a pass for me. Sorry, don't have anything more than that.
No problem. You don't need to, this is a huge card with lots of opportunity. Weather-wise, nice day for offense, 77 Fahrenheit clear, 9 miles per hour out to straightaway center. Batter versus pitcher data here. We have the Angels hitting 333 with an 888 OPS. Not a huge sample size, but they're 10 for 30 with a double, triple, and a homer against Kikuchi. And it's not the big bats. There's no sign that Ohtani has not faced them, and we know that there's injuries right now to Rendon and so, no Trout. So it's not the big bats that have got to Kikuchi. Against Cobb, they're hitting 219 with a 604 OPS. And when we go to the cash here in this spot, we have 2,963 tickets in, 62% of the tickets on the Angels, 74% of the cash on the Angels, 60% of the tickets on the over, and 71% of cash on the over. Mike M says Cobb bullpen let him down versus Seattle. Also was his last start versus Seattle, which is tricky. Luke Murphy says, I might bet over in every Angels game going forward. Their pen is horrid. Jay Vegas is on the Angels team total over 4.5 at plus 100. Slats 45 says the Cooch is 1-3 with a 10.22 ERA and 6 career starts versus the Angels. And that's what we have right now. I don't feel strength on a angle, but I do think that Cobb's pitching better.
Sorry, I just want to say, if you gave me a free bet on this one, I would take the Seattle team total over. Someone mentioned the Angels bullpen as well as Cobb. I mean, wouldn't be a shock if Cobb goes, 6 or 7 innings and gives up 2 or 3 runs. But
all right, we have Pete freezing for a second. He'll be right back, I'm sure, in a second because his internet catches up quickly. There he is. He's back in action. Pete, let's go over your action and talk briefly about this basketball game as we have NBA Pub coming on.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say that the Seattle full game team total over 3.5 minus 135 might be a decent play.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it's got to be, doesn't it?
Not got to be, but.
Oh man, that does look like a very interesting spot. Mariners team total over 3.5 because you just have to get to that bullpen. Okay. Let's review action right now. Pete and I are both on the Twins -1. I don't know what line I'm going to get. He got a nice one, -122, plus 137. That's better than I will be getting. Then the taint play of the day is on the Twins Tigers first 5 under 5 in game 2. Then we both stayed off Rangers Blue Jays game with a rain in the forecast. The Indians A's game is uncomforting. Neither of us have made moves. Pete made a big ballsy bet on not a big bet, a regular size bet. I don't mean that, but a ballsy bet on the Diamondbacks first 5. He got -108 on it. I think Alzolay's hit a wall. I expect better from Zach Gallen. The Cubs, are a team going in the wrong direction. And we know the Diamondbacks have been going on the wrong direction all year, but I find that bet extremely interesting. and I may make a move on it. Pete's on the first 5 under 5.5 in Marlins Phillies, and Velasquez just hurts me so badly, but I think could be extremely sharp look that I have an enormous interest in. Then Mets Pirates, there's a no move. Same with Padres and Nationals. By the way, Lamont Williams, Max Betts are Atlanta run line and Brewers run line. Then Pete has moved on the Orioles first 5 team total under 2.5. We don't know who's pitching for Baltimore yet. We think it's Jorge Lopez. I'm going to be on the Royals first 5. I need to dive a little deeper in Lopez's splits, but I think that Royals first 5 will be a move for me. Pete's on the Brewers score first at -165 in the Brewers Reds game. Then we get to a possible rainout game. Pete got the Red Sox on the overnight line at a great price. If this game does go, he did make it official Red Sox +115, which is nowhere near the price he got in the morning or last night, on the overnight line. But Jose, if this game goes, Say Hey play of the day, full game under 8 at -106, and first 5 -0.5 at +164. And then Jose has the Astros White Sox. He has the Astros first 5 -0.5 at +144, and the full game at -101. Then we have the birthday pick. First 5 under 4.5 at -123 in Giants Cardinals, and the confidence of Loshak going against the market is exciting. Rays Braves, no move here, but we did tell you that our man in the chat, Logan, loving the Rays, and then Lamont Williams on the Braves. Nothing from Pete and I. Then Pete has moved on the Dodgers Rockies unders. He's doubled up full game under 12 and first 5 under 6.5. I like them both. I don't want to double up here. Both bullpens have been good, and I'm going to make one bet on either the full game under or the first 5 under, and I just need a little bit more work to do on that. And then we have Mariners Angels rounding out the card, and he's got nothing on this spot, but that Mariners team total 3.5 does look interesting. Does that sound right, Pete?
Yeah, and just some other plays that I would be leaning towards would be the Minnesota first 5 team total over, obviously. The Cubs first 5 team total under. Thinking about that one. The Seattle full game team total over at 3.5.
Pete, we lost you there for a sec. So, and this is a crucial.
All right. Okay.
So you're back. Okay, we got your first couple. What was it after the Cubs?
The Cubs first 5 team total under. The Seattle full game team total over at 3.5 -128 would be tempting for sure. And I guess that's about it. And the Colorado full game, even that is a huge dog.
Yeah, I get that too. That's definitely a game I'll be moving on. Great stuff. What a treat it is to cap the MLB card with Pete. We're going to go into NBA right now briefly. We're doing the NBA Pub Hub here in 12 minutes. So 12 minutes, we're going to be breaking down the NBA game deep and dirty. So that's right here in 11 minutes with Dutch Boy Fresh, Babano, Connor Mack, and Ski Profit. I'll be jumping on that show as well. Let's talk NBA. We've talked often about how if you have the strength and ability to lay off early bets in these playoff series and wait till attack later on in the series, it seems like things open up and become quite simple. It was only the second NBA bet of the year that was more than a unit for me was the Bucks in Game 4, and then I tied it to both teams scoring 100, so I got Bucks at +120, and I was so confident. And look, Phoenix was up by 9 early in the fourth quarter, and they had the lead with 2.5 minutes left, but I just thought that the Bucks were going to take care of business, and I think that the one thing I can count on in Game 5 is the character of the Phoenix Suns showing up early. The same issues are going to apply with the Suns. Saric being out, Ayton having to play with trepidation. He can't foul. If he gets in foul trouble, it's done. And he did an okay job. He did a great job of staying out of foul trouble, but he didn't do a good job of really having a lot of confidence offensively and going to the rim or risking charges or anything. I mean, 6 points, but still rebounded well. Middleton has been so good at home. There's been spots in the playoffs where he has disappeared. And we saw the heart of Devin Booker coming back in Game 4, something that I wasn't sure was going to happen. And I believe in the heart of Chris Paul bouncing back here. I believe in Monty as a coach. And saying all that, I don't want the Suns full game because of the inherent issues that are going on with them. So I've already bet Suns first quarter -1.5 and first half -2. And I love it. And that's all I'm going to do at this point. Uncool says Chris Paul triple-double. North Ender says so far this postseason faves between -3.5 and -6 are 26-8 against the spread. Pete, Game 5, Bucks, Suns. What are your thoughts here?
Okay, my thoughts on Game 5. Now is when we need my internet to drop out. Come on, just drop out. Just give me 10, 15 seconds. Come on, baby, drop out internet. Am I still live? Am I still up here? No, I'm here. Everyone, and then my other joke is we've got here on Pub Sports Radio, Dutch Boy Fresh, Ski Prophet, Connor Mack, Bobano. Tune in. They're going to – no, I don't know, man. I've been so bad at NBA, although I will admit – I will tell you that I did actually bet the under in Game 4. I did bet the under in Game 4, and that I wasn't doing a show or any public handicapping. I just looked at it, and I liked it more and more, and that one did cash. You know, this one – feels kind of obvious, a big bounce back spot for the Suns. I agree that it's a huge bounce back spot for Chris Paul. Probably, any Chris Paul player prop for him to have a good game is probably worth a bet. It is true though. I basically I would say that 30% of what Bobano said.
Okay, you have cut out just as you were hoping, just as you were praying for. It did happen. It come to fruition there. Okay, you're back.
I was just going to say that my opinion is about 75% of whatever Ski Prophet says, and about 25% of what Bobano says. It's obviously a bounce back spot for the Suns, and in bounce back spots like these, my sense is don't overthink it and bet on a bounce back one way or another, whether it's player props or just Phoenix. If you gave me a free bet, sure, I'd take Phoenix -4, sure.
And interestingly enough, the first halves. A couple books had moved to -2.5. They're back at 2. There are 3.5s on the board now. Kev Riley says, nice decision, Jimmy. Phoenix first quarter, Phoenix first half. Also, the first quarter unders have been hitting. I went over them. I even said that the best spot, and I said that in the Game 4, the best spot was to take the alternate line, Suns first quarter under 24.5, and that was at plus 155. And they only got to 23. Now, they did have a shot right at the end of the first quarter to cash that. I'm not going back to the well there. And I see these first quarter numbers are dropping every game. They started at 57.5. Now they're all the way down to 54. They opened at 54.5. Do I think it's going to happen for a fifth straight game? I'm not going to hit that.
I will say this: one of the reasons that I stupidly liked the Bucks last round to win it all was because I was very impressed with Chris Middleton and the way he plays. It's when he's on his game, that's the kind of play that you want in the playoffs. And I would expect him to have a subpar game tonight. So maybe player props on Middleton to have a subpar performance might also have some value.
I think that makes a ton of sense. I think that's a great look. I'll mention that on the show coming up. I think that's a very interesting look. Again, the Suns have won 8 of their 10 home games in the playoffs. They've won both of their home games in the series by double digits. But that was a different Suns team, and that's how freely Ayton can play when he knows Saric is there. And he just can't play that way anymore. I do think if I had a free bet on the full game, I would take the Suns full game. But one thing we've learned is this Suns team has heart and character.
Yeah.
And it's Game 5 at home, and I expect them to play strong early. And those are my moves that I've already made. And I thought that the market would move in that direction early. And I didn't know what I was going to do late. But I thought early the market was going to move in that direction. And that's really not been happening at this point. Polo this, Polo that says PJ Tucker, 2+ assists at plus 176. In 5 minutes, we have NBA Pub Hub with the boys, and we're going to break all of that down. And I can't wait. It's such a fun finals. So Anything else on this game before we put a bow on this bad boy, Pete?
Not really. I'm just I'm happy that I got out of that segment without saying anything too stupid. Or that's all I want to say about that game. Yep.
I like it. I think your look on Middleton under, and I'll
just
talk
Middleton
about
down,
that.
yeah. Just that the Suns will shut him down more effectively.
And he's struggled at times on the road in the playoffs. North Ender says pressure starting to mount on CP3 and the Suns. It is, and I don't see that as something that could derail this at this point. But again, I don't want them full game. I got too many questions full game, but at least early.
Chris Paul, I haven't checked the numbers, but he's not going to have 17 turnovers or whatever he had in the last game. Maybe Paul on turnovers under might be a good play.
That's a really interesting. Okay, I'm just going to take these notes down very quickly. So Middleton.
I mean, it feels like it's obviously a big bounce back spot for Chris Paul. And the one thing he can really focus on and control is turnovers, So I didn't even check the line, but maybe Chris Paul turnovers under.
That's very, very. North Ender says Paul's right hand might be hurting. It might be. I mean, he says it's not. Interesting. Absolutely great stuff. What a treat it is to have Lotals Loshak, the legend, Pete Loshak, on a Saturday. And the next time you guys see me on a show other than the show that's right after this will be Tuesday with Pete once again. Pete, absolutely great work. Thank you so much for joining us. Any last words for the cappers in the chat? Oh, that's right. That's how we should have it with the robot voice. Robot voice. We'll have Pete hardwired for the Tuesday show. Okay, you're back. You're back.
Just shout out to all the low baggers, and it also occurred to me I look kind of dope in this. What other handicapper on these shows looks anything like this? None. It hasn't translated into ratings yet, right? It hasn't translated into ratings yet.
It could.
Right?
It could. We're heading in the right direction. That's all that's important. I love it. Pistol Pete Loshak, on behalf of Jose on the ones and twos, Pistol Pete Loshak, and all of us at Pop Sports Radio. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. It's the chat and Pete and I have known this from the beginning. It's the chat that makes this show special. Your insights, your humor, and all that you add to this show. We're so thankful to roll with you guys. Christopher Comentini says the freshest by far.
Huge shout out to Christopher Cometini. Through high tide and low tide, you've been my friend, at least on Twitter. Shout out to you, Christopher Cometini, and you too.
I love you guys. Let's get paid in full on behalf of all of us. Leche. Hey, Los bookmakers, get that shit.
Where's the bang bang, Preston? Come on.
I can't breathe.
Pub Sports Radio. Come find us in Southtown 101. Subscribe on YouTube and all platforms where podcasts are found.